knock on wood, if I get out of here the next 3 days or 4, it'd be the first time I've ever been here and out of here without it raining 10 inches on us. The last probably 5 years, I don't think they've made probably 30 average. This year looks like they're all going to have 35 to 55.
I'd say this is the best wheat crop we've cut here, and I've been cutting here for over 20 years.
Harvest is going good. The yields are good, excellent, 40, 50, 60, 78 bushels per acre. We ought to fill all elevators at Frederick, Manitou, and Hollister up by tomorrow afternoon late. Our elevators are full. The only storage we have is what we're putting on the rail cars, and there's a shortage of those. I've been here 20 years, and I don't remember one this big.
Oh, we've waited up to 4 hours to get done.
It only takes us probably an hour to load a semi, and we've been waiting as many as 2 hours, maybe 3 hours in line. So if they sit there for 2 or 3, then the combines are parked and get about half as much done as normal.
With a miracle, we'll get more rail cars every day to keep the harvest moving along.
Investigators now believe it was gas leaking from a stove that caused the fire that destroyed this house. And debris like this behind me is scattered all over the yard. And as you can see, there is virtually nothing left.
Save what we can get.
The problem is the fire was so devastating. There's just not much to save.
It's going to be a struggle, but I guess in the long run, you'll get over it. You'll just have memories.
Just come back on Christian.
This is the scene early Sunday morning in the 900 block of Chance Street.
Our officers received information on a person that would be holding drugs, information that we had a person that had been dealing drugs, and they worked up a search warrant to go look for them. They entered the house forcibly with a ram. They made a lot of noise because the door didn't pop open initially the first time, so whoever was knew they were coming. The officer with his flashlight, it was dark, shined his flashlight, observed the subject with a handgun, shouted, "Drop the gun," and when the subject then turned the gun on himself and quickly fired a shot.
That subject was 26-year-old Robert Perry. Today, his mother and father say the police's explanation of his death isn't good enough. After the incident, Pearlie and Robert Perry Sr., who lived next door to their son, asked police what was wrong.
They kept on telling us they don't know, and so we know something wrong because, hey, I heard a gunshot. I'm not deaf. I'm not blind.
He never let us in the bedroom. In 6 hours, before we could go over there from right here, they barred this off.
They never
And any time anybody lose a kid, I don't care if it's 2 or 3 minutes, they're supposed to let you in there. Them police are lying dog. This nigga done took all he gonna take.
Who do you feel did this?
I feel that police did.
Police did it.
It's unfortunate that they want to accuse some young officers that were only doing their job, but that's part of police work. We get accused of that, and then we have to wait for the facts to bear themselves out.
And those facts should come out when the forensics results are released from the autopsy and an independent investigation is conducted by the local NAACP.
If the autopsy came back and the report said that it was self-inflicted from the gun that was in his hand,
I think it'd be a lie anyway. I think it'd be a lie anyway.
I won't believe it.
If it's gonna be like that there, why didn't they let us go over there and see him in the bed self-death?
I know
Label with X, with an X, Generation X.
Big X or...
So I think of X as blank.
Yeah, I do too. I think of it as lost.
Just slackers.
they define me for their convenience. Disillusioned, disenfranchised, white boy.
Whatever.
Call them what you want, but the world knows these young adults as Generation X.
Every generation has a name, and we just got stuck with an X because nobody could think of anything better.
A generation that so many have a tough time figuring out. Meet Jeff, Brian, and Jeremy, all in their 20s and considered Xers. They say it's the media that gave birth to the concept of Generation X.
It's easier to sell something to somebody if you group them together. If you give them a common cause or common goal, it's a lot easier to market.
There's X Games, there's X-Files, there's Generation X.
From what we found out, some Generation Xers seem to share the same live-for-the-moment attitude.
I feel that hanging out with my friends and enjoying the time that I'm living is good enough for me.
instead of worrying about the future and thinking about the past.
And that may be since the chances for Xers to have a better future than their boomer parents are slim to none.
There's no determining factor to say that, you know, I'm going to be, you know, 2.5 kids, garage, good job, no quarters.
And meeting a social status quo may be especially tough for Xers like Donna Payton. For her, a traditional family is a foreign concept.
All right, fine, I'm probably going to get divorced, and I want to have my own money and not worry about having children.
But for a different perspective of Generation X, the brand is reason enough for optimism.
You got to rise above because you've been called a slacker. It's almost a motivation.
Meet this group of Christian youth leaders. They say their hope is clear.
I mean, my hope is in a man named Jesus who went to the cross and died for me.
As Xers, they admit the trouble isn't the misconception of a drinking, carefree generation. It's knowing their generation compared to others has it pretty easy.
There are a lot of things that it's an easy, quick fix. A lot of people commit crimes, and I get out of it quick. And it's easy. There's a lot of things easy.
People get married, divorced, married again all the time.
So it's not that optimistic for us.
No.
While they insist the future is optimistic, these Xers say they're at a continual search, the case with every generation. And as long as they believe the definition for their generation is really no definition at all, it'll carry the generic brand everyone knows as X.
Because nobody can think of anything better. It sounded good. It was a marketing ploy. It's a classification.
It's like they don't know what to do with us now.
The lost generation. They don't know where they're going.
Generation that's got.
I feel like I'm in therapy.
A lot of people that come around, they don't really realize what we've got there.
A lot of them will want to know what in the world are you going to do with this?
When they walk into it, well, it's kind of a surprise. Oh, it's just kind of evolved over the years.
First thing I knowed, well, we had one big bunch of little birds. I call it a zoo. I have to do the feeding and taking care of them, but now it's a lot of fun and it's relaxing to us.
He'll run at you. They're Cape Barren. They're from Australia. But if you turn your back, he's going to try to get you. Years ago, there was a man over at Graham gave me a bunch of zebra finches. Well, he was going to give me 2 or 3. And when I went over to pick them up, well, I had, I guess 40 or 50.
They're a hobby and they're a lot of fun.
If they wanted to leave, they could leave.
There's all different types of them. I'd say the sky would be the limit to them.
And the wine. We've got 300 to 400 kids up here. We're trying to teach them responsibility and how to grow up. It's kind of a down-to-earth type town. We keep the kids in mind first. We try to have a little fun.
2, 3, right here!
Go get them. Right now, they're just kind of getting a base for starting off in life. You have to work hard to get to do like the starting lineup. I mean, if you don't work hard, you don't get in the game. Now, get the bats out. No takes, go to town. And we're setting the tone. We're going in here, we're making them swing. Relax and smile out there. Okay? Come on, give me a smile. Go get them. Throw the heat. Let's do it. They're turning into young men, and it's good.
Becomes the blood of Christ. And that